Now, we talked earlier in that first course about some of the different ways that these different solutions use quiescence to ensure a crash consistent backup. And there are some specifics here, kind of coming down from the 20,000 foot perspective, down here to how Veeam works with a Hyper-V hypervisor. First up are just some differences in some of the older versions of the operating system from some of the newer features that exist in 2016 and 2019. If you are using Windows Server 2012 R2, your backups at that level use VSS actually at two different levels. And this is akin to what we saw back in that first course. The first level is VSS inside the guest operating system, where that VSS quiesces any VSS aware apps inside the virtual machine and then creates a snapshot again inside that guest OS. Once that completes, the VSS framework at the hypervisor host then creates a snapshot of the volume on which the VM disks are located. It's this two layers of VSS that facilitates then the backups. It's this two layers of VSS that can sometimes also cause some issues if the timing is not exactly correct, or if there's a lot of operations that are going on between the timing of these two VSS snapshots. And so to support those use cases, Microsoft has introduced this concept of production checkpoints in Windows Server 2016 and 2019. These production checkpoints in these newer operating systems present a much better solution for generating these application consistent backups without having to do this double layer VSS configuration like we had in the older versions. Let me show you, if I minimize this, where you can actually see an example of what these production checkpoints actually look like. Back here on my desktop, I want to show you I have a copy here of Hyper-V Manager. I'm pointing to my Hyper-V 1 machine here, where I have my File 2 server right here. If you haven't had an opportunity yet to take a look at production checkpoints, they are actually enabled by default on new virtual machines. And so here under checkpoints, you can see that for this virtual machine, just simply because it was created, production checkpoints are configured right out of the box. It is these production checkpoints that are used by the Veeam infrastructure to support then the crash consistent backup and then later restore of any virtual machine that's part of a backup job.